Hi, Grace, and welcome to Talking Allergies. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Grace, can you tell us a little bit about you and about the allergies that you have?
Yeah, so my name's Grace. I'm 23 years old. I live in Sydney, Australia, and I am anaphylactic to dairy, eggs, sesame, tree nuts, except I can have almonds and macadamia nuts. I'm also anaphylactic to kiwi fruit and some seafood, so I can have tuna, salmon, whitefish, octopus, and prawns. And I also have some environmental allergies, so like dust and pollen and dogs and cats.
Thank you so much for sharing. When did you first learn you had allergies?
I found out when I was a baby, so I don't remember it myself, but from what my parents have told me, I was about 7 months and they were trying to feed me yogurt, so dairy, for the first time. And after having a spoon of that, I broke out into a reaction straight away. So they took me to the hospital, and that's when they confirmed it was an anaphylactic reaction. So they gave me the EpiPen, and but yeah, that's the story of how I found out.
Thank you so much for sharing. That sounds like a really big reaction, an anaphylactic reaction.
Yeah, definitely wasn't the easiest way to find out I have allergies. So I had to find out the hard way, and it would have been very stressful for my parents. They've never had to deal with anaphylaxis before, so this was all a brand new experience for them. So yeah, it would have been extremely confronting them seeing that for the first time.
As you were a baby, were there day-to-day life changes that were made for them? Or you don't know because you were a baby?
I mean, I don't remember, but from what they've told me, definitely had to change a lot in their life. Pretty much all of the foods that I was allergic to, they stopped eating because it was just too hard to, living with me every day and then touching me. And if they'd eaten something I was allergic to, it was just too risky. So yeah, I had to kind of change their diet and make sure there was no foods that I was allergic to in the house. So yeah, definitely a lot that they had to change, and everyone in my family as well. Like if they were seeing me that day, if they'd eaten something I was allergic to make sure they washed their hands and washed everything, so I wouldn't have a reaction.
They sound like they've done a great job in managing your day-to-day.
Oh yeah, 100%. They've done so much for me, and since I've had it since I was a baby, I don't really know anything different for me, but for them, obviously, changed their lives completely, and they've done so much to help me manage it as a kid. So now that I'm an adult, it's all just second nature to me, and everything that they used to do, I know, just do it for myself now. So it all comes pretty easily to me now how to manage and handle it all.
Do you have any tips, or how do you manage day-to-day living with allergies?
I guess at the moment, day to day, I always make and prepare my own food at home and bring it out with me wherever I'm going. If I'm going to work or out for the day, I always just bring my own food. Whenever I'm buying anything from the shops, always checking the ingredients on everything, even if it's a brand that I've used multiple times, like ingredients change all the time. So checking all the ingredients there. Eating out is something that's new that I've started doing. But yeah, until before that, it was just always bring my own food everywhere. And even if I do go out eat somewhere, I always bring some of my own safe snacks as a backup in case I can't eat or there's not as much to eat as I was expecting.
It's amazing that you're going out to eat now as well. How did you build up that courage?
Took a long time. When I was a kid, I never ate out anywhere. I only ate things that my mum or my dad or my grandparents made for me. That was all that I ever did. I guess as I got older and my friends wanted to start going out more and eating out, that was something that I wanted to start doing as well. So I kind of got the confidence with the help of my parents for the first few times. They found this restaurant, it's called Silver's, that they thought would be okay for me to eat there. So we spoke to the manager there and explained my allergies, and they were amazing. They talked us through like the entire menu, how they prepare everything, like cross contaminations, what they would recommend we could eat, what they could do for us. So that was the first place we ever ate out as a family, and that was only a few years ago now, and they were incredible. So I've had so many like positive experiences going and eating there that's kind of helped me grow my confidence in eating out, and then I've become more willing to branch out and try new places since then.
That's amazing. I love that you went out as a family and did all the checks beforehand.
Yeah, yeah, it was a long conversation, and they were just so amazing, that walking us through like the entire process of how they prepare everything. Like they completely understood allergies and like knew cross-contamination was a risk and all of that. And to this day, every time we go there, the manager himself will always serve us every single time. He'll make sure he comes up to us to take our order, and it just like puts us at so much ease knowing like it's the same person every time, and he knows us, knows our allergies, and yeah, it's amazing.
That's fantastic. You were talking a little bit about your transition from childhood to adulthood. Is there any changes that you know that are the big differences? And could you give any tips for others that are during that experience too?
Yeah, 100%. There's been some very big changes. I feel like at different stages in your life, there's different situations that you're struggling with your allergies. As a kid, I guess the first main challenge for me was going to school. The doctors actually told my parents that I wouldn't be able to go to school until I was old enough to go to high school because of all my allergies. And they wanted me to go to school, and they were very firm believers that they didn't want my allergies to hold me back, and they wanted to give me all the opportunities as much as possible. So they went and spoke to a allergy specialist at the hospital to see, is there any way that we can make this work? And they were so amazing. They gave us some great tips. So we were able to talk to the school, talk to the specialist, and we made it work, which was amazing. So we had lots of plans and like to make it all work. So I remember at school, I always had like my medications were in the nurse's office. I remember there was like a big poster with my face stuck up in the office with like all my allergies, so all the teachers would know who I was and what I was allergic to. I'd have to take antihistamines before school every day, and I was allergic to carpet, so I couldn't sit on the floor with the other kids, and so I had a mat that I would carry around with me so I could still sit on the floor with everyone else. So there's a lot of challenges to get there, but we made it work in the end. And that was kind of the first, I guess, stage of my life where we had to face lots of struggles with my allergies. As I got older, like going into high school, I guess more of the responsibility went on me. So I was like responsible to carry around my EpiPen and my medication with me when I went between classes, but it was still pretty similar to primary school. Like I'd bring all my own food and made sure I just ate my own food, didn't touch anything that wasn't mine, didn't eat anything that wasn't mine. But I think the biggest struggle would be actually now, since being out of school. Like I feel like when I was in school, you're in such a enclosed environment where you're seeing the same kids every year. They all know who you are, and they all knew I had allergies. The teachers all knew who I was. And then now being outside in the real world, like not everyone knows who I am and my allergies, obviously. Like going to university and work, like you're seeing new people like every single day. So that's, I guess, my struggle at the moment, just dealing with so many new people and different social situations and how to handle all of that.
Sounds like they were really accommodating through school with that mat. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea that was actually, but I remember all the floors at my primary school had carpet, and as kids would always like sit on the floor whenever teacher was writing on the whiteboard or smartboard, and they wanted me to fit in with the kids so I didn't have to sit like on a chair at the back. So they're like, just bring a mat around with you. So I had like a little mat in a bag that I'd carry to class so I could sit with the other kids.
You still got to sit with the other kids though. That was like the end goal.
Yeah.
That's lovely to hear. As someone that is now eating out with allergies at restaurants, do you have any tips on how to go out to eat?
Yeah, 100%. I think I kind of have like a set routine now that I do every time I'm trying to go to a new restaurant. So I always like to make sure I contact them first, whether I give them a call or send an email, explain my allergies, that I'm anaphylactic to all my allergies to let them know and see if they're able to accommodate. Sometimes straight off the bat, they'll just be like, no, sorry, can't do it. Which I'd rather they just be honest and tell me straight up. So that's totally fine. And if they say they're able to cater, they normally give some recommendations of their menu, what they can do. So I normally try to add my allergies to the booking as well, so they know what to expect when I get there. And then on the day, just making sure you're very clear with the waiter and the chef to explain all of your dietaries. Having like an allergy card, so like an Equal Eats eating out card that lists all of your allergies is so great when you're eating out, because you can just give it to the waiter and it has like all the information there. It says everything you're allergic to, talks about, you know, cross-contamination, making sure everything is washed in between, so they can just give that to the chef and it has all of the information there. But just, yeah, constantly checking when the food comes out, being like, this is the one that was okay for the allergies. And yeah, if you ever don't feel comfortable, just, you don't have to eat it.
How do you build up the nerves to actually talk about your allergies at the restaurants?
I feel like that's something that comes with time and practice. I used to struggle a lot with it at the start, as it can be very difficult to talk about, and if they're not taking it seriously, like that can also be confronting for you and make you very anxious and scared. So just really, I guess, understanding your allergies and your needs and being confident in what you want. And if they aren't able to do that, then that's okay. Just knowing that it's okay to say no if you're not comfortable, because you'd rather, you know, be firm and strict with what you're saying and know that they understand that it is a life-threatening thing. So we've got to make sure we get it right. So yeah, just being confident with what you're saying and speaking to the chef and the waiters and just clearly communicating everything to them.
Is there any situations that you avoid?
Yeah, there'd be a few. I think the main one would be any like last minute plans to go out or something where I haven't really had the time to do my whole like routine to practice like going out. If I haven't had the chance to, you know, talk to the restaurant in advance, then I know when I get there, like I'm not going to be super comfortable. Like if it's a super busy restaurant and I haven't had the opportunity to properly speak to them, I know that that's just going to be too risky and I won't feel comfortable. So if something like last minute comes up, I'll just avoid eating there if I know I haven't had the chance to properly speak to them. Like buffet styles, like a buffet breakfast is something that I avoid because the risk is just way too high, I think, for me. Cross-contamination is a big concern there. Like you never know if the tongs have accidentally been switched or if someone put something on their plate and it touched the egg on their toast or something. So situations like that where I just think the risk is too high for me, I'd rather just say no and not take the risk and do what I know is safe and best for me.
That's fantastic risk management and situation knowledge as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think it comes with time and, you know, practice and going out to different places, but I feel like I'm able to recognize when something is too risky for me. Like if I go to a certain cafe and I can see that the kitchen's tiny, so they're obviously sharing equipment amongst like all the different things they're making, then I know I'd rather just avoid that because they probably can't do separate, you know, cooking utensils for the different dishes they're making. So something that comes with time and you can identify those things that you want to avoid.
That's great. Thanks, Grace. Have you travelled with your allergies across Australia or overseas?
Yes, I've travelled across Australia quite a bit. So I've done a few smaller trips like to Melbourne or the Gold Coast and all of that, which has been pretty all right to manage. You know, everything's in English, all the brands and the shopping centres are all the same, so everything is familiar. I often would like pre-prepare a lot of like the dishes that I'm going to eat, so I can just heat it up in a microwave when I get there. So that's super easy to do. I also will bring like all of my cooking utensils with me if I'm going to cook there. This is just something that makes me feel a lot more at ease, knowing that like the pans and the utensils I brought haven't touched anything that I'm allergic to in the past. Obviously, when you're traveling, you don't have the comforts of being at your own home, in your own kitchen. So doing whatever I can to make myself feel most comfortable is what I always try to do. I brought my toaster with me. It's traveled across Australia a few times. So bread is something that I always get worried about, because some bread has milk in it and there's seeded bread, and if that's been in the toaster before, you don't know. So I'd rather just bring my own that I know has only the bread that I can eat in it. And recently, last year, I traveled to Europe. I traveled there by myself for the first time, which was huge for me. I was extremely nervous about that. So yeah, that was a big trip for me.
How did it go?
No, yeah, it was really good. There was a lot of preparation and planning that went into it before I left. So I did a lot of research before going there. I would look up when we were looking for accommodation, I would make sure they all had like a fully functioning kitchen there, that they were walking distance from shopping centres. I'd actually look up the shopping centres and see what products they had there. So I had this like huge document with like my accommodation. This store is like a 5-minute walk, and then these are some of the products I can look for there. So then from home, I could just like pretend I was shopping there, and I could start familiarizing myself with the brands there. Because obviously there's so many unknowns, and things not being in English either was something that really scared me. Not being able to read the ingredients labels in English, and that language barrier was nerve-wracking. So being able to do that from home before I left and kind of get familiar with some products and brands, so when I got there I knew kind of what I could look for, helped me a lot. Yeah, and like translating all of my allergies into the local languages, of course, so I could look out for them. But yeah, no, overall went really well. I mainly prepared and cooked my own foods every day. I didn't really eat out too much. I think the first time being there, I was just very nervous, and I felt a lot more comfortable if I just cooked all of my own food. So that's what I did. And yeah, successful, no allergic reactions. I actually ate out one time at this restaurant in Rome. I ate some baked potatoes, which sounds very small and not that monumental, but it was very exciting for me. I didn't think I would eat out anywhere. But I did find Italy, they were actually very good with their allergies. Every restaurant had like an allergy menu, which was, I've never really seen that anywhere else before. So after seeing that a few times at all the restaurants I was going to, I thought I can probably give this a go. So yeah, spoke to the waiter and was able to eat some baked potatoes, which was exciting.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you ate out overseas in a restaurant that didn't have English or wasn't.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't expect to do that at all. But I guess when I was there in the moment and seeing all the like precautions they had in place for allergies, I was like, I haven't even really seen this in Australia. So I was like, this is amazing to see. And I was like, I'll just talk to the waiters and see what it's like. And if I don't feel comfortable, I don't have to order. But they were so amazing. And I had like my cards in Italian and in English, so I can kind of give it to them, even though they all pretty much spoke English, which made it a lot easier. But yeah, no, they were so reassuring that they could cater for me. And yeah, went well.
That's fantastic to hear that your first trip overseas by yourself went really well.
Yes, it was good. Lots of planning went behind it. And there was a lot of eating pretty much the same things every day, but that didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. I was like, I just want to be able to safely eat and be able to experience traveling overseas.
Thank you so much for sharing. Grace, you also share a lot of eating with allergies online. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started my Eating Out with Food Allergies account just over a year ago now. It's something that I wanted to do for a while, but I was always a bit, I guess, nervous and didn't have the confidence to speak about my allergies that much. I never really liked talking about my allergies when I was a kid growing up. I always felt like it was something that made me different and feel like alone compared to everyone else. So I didn't like when I had to bring it up and speak to people about it. And I just had a lot of negative emotions towards my allergies. Obviously, a lot of anxiety around it, and yeah, feeling alone and different to everyone else. And social situations were always difficult. So I kind of wanted to create a platform that spread positivity and was a positive outlook on allergies, and I guess inspire other people to look at the positives of allergies and all the things you can still do even if you do have allergies. Because if I saw someone doing what I'm doing when I was younger, that would have inspired me to feel less alone, and that there's so much I can actually achieve with allergies, which I never thought I would have been able to before. So yeah, I just wanted to create a positive platform to share and document all my experiences with everything allergies, and yeah, hopefully inspire a couple of people along the way. And yeah, just create a real positive community where we can all talk together about allergies and help each other along the way to feel less alone.
For the people out there that would like to know how to follow you, could you tell them the handle?
Yeah. So on Instagram and Facebook, it's eating_out_with_food_allergies. I do also have a TikTok account, and that handle is eating with food allergies, all in one, no space.
What have you been most proud of that you've been able to accomplish with your allergies?
I think the thing I was most proud of is creating the Eating Out with Food Allergies platform. It's something that I have wanted to do for a long time, but I've never actually got around to doing it. So taking that leap and making the account is something that I'm extremely proud of, and the amount of amazing people I've got to connect with through it has been so amazing. And the other big thing for me would be traveling to Europe last year by myself. That's something I never would have thought I could do a couple of years ago. And meeting up with friends and family in Europe, such amazing experience, which I never thought I would have been able to do.
It's lovely to hear. Is there anyone that supports you in your life with allergies?
I think everyone in my life is very amazing at supporting me. I'm very lucky to have such a supportive community around me. My parents and my family obviously have been helping me since day one when I was a baby and first was diagnosed with food allergies. So, pretty much giving up eating the things I was allergic to for a long time, to be able to help me, teaching me how to find the right brands and products and foods, how to make safe and healthy meals for myself. They've done so much to teach me how to manage and handle my allergies. So now that I'm an adult, I can confidently do it by myself. And it's all just second nature to me because they've done it for me my entire life. And also my friends, I have such an amazing group of friends who we've been friends since like high school, most of them. So they've grown up with me and all my allergies and know how to handle all of that. Like even when we traveled to Europe last year, every time we're looking at accommodation, they'd send through the Airbnb like, and also be like, by the way, it has a full kitchen and it's a 5-minute walk from the grocery store. They know all the things to look out for when we're traveling. So having them be so supportive and always willing to, accommodate whatever restaurant I want to go to, they're happy to go there, has been so amazing. And my boyfriend as well has been so supportive. Whenever we go out to eat, he always will help me, speak to the staff to make sure everything's communicated well. I have like a little allergy safe area in his house with my own snacks there and my own toaster. So I know there's always going to be some safe food for me to eat there. But yeah, and I guess everyone who I drag along to try new restaurants and cafes with me, everyone's always so willing and excited to come with me. Obviously, it's something I've never really been able to do with people in my life before. So whether it's my family, my boyfriend, or my friends, they're all always so excited to try new places with me.
That's so lovely. I love the allergy area that's all safe for allergies.
Yeah. It's a little area where I have like all my snacks, so I know there's always going to be something I can eat there.
I thought they were also going out to the new restaurants. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's so great to be able to do it with everyone in my life. Obviously, I've never really been able to do it before, so they're more excited than me half the time to be able to go somewhere with me and I can actually eat as well. So there's been long periods of my life where we would go to a restaurant, I just wouldn't eat anything, just get a drink or something. So for me to be able to eat with them is exciting for them as well.
It's so lovely. Is there anything that you've learnt about living with allergies that someone that's just been diagnosed or living with allergies should know?
I feel like the main thing is obviously allergies that have a huge effect on your life. And even though it's a huge part of your life that you have to manage daily, it shouldn't have to hold you back on anything that you want to do. I think there's always a way to be able to achieve everything you want to do, even if you have food allergies, even if that means just spending that extra time to plan and accommodate to make it work. There's always a way to make it work if you really want it to happen. If you've just been diagnosed with allergies, I'd suggest doing as much research as possible. That's what I still do. The best way to know how to manage it is to understand it and understand what your allergies are, what you need to avoid, and how you can best handle your allergies, and finding the safe products, the safe brands. Like, I'm very surprised how many safe allergy friendly products there are out there. So finding those and sticking with those is amazing. Joining like allergy support groups like Allergy Life Australia, they have the families and the adult support groups. So being able to speak to others who are in similar situations to you is something that is amazing. I didn't really know too many people with allergies growing up, so having the opportunity to talk to others in the allergy community is something that I find really valuable, and being able to share our experiences and get tips from others people is amazing.
If you could tell younger Grace anything, what would it be?
I think I'll tell her to still dream big and, not to give up anything that I want to do, because I think that's not possible with my allergies. If there's a will, there's a way. So just always trying to achieve what I want to do and don't let my allergies hold me back.
It's a fantastic one. Is there anything else that you would like to share to the allergy community?
Just the allergy community is great. And just support each other as much as possible. Sharing any great allergy finds that you have is amazing. I love seeing other people share what they find, because that helps me and introduces new things that I might never have thought of before. So sharing your experiences with others is helping the entire community.
Thank you for joining me today, Grace, and for sharing your story as well. Very much appreciate you coming on Talking Allergies.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.